Hello everybody, welcome back to a Saturday update. I want to show you something really cool that's going on right now. We got a phone call this morning from our friend who helps take care of this field. It is leased out by the RM every year. But Shocks had mentioned that she'd like to go for a ride in a tractor one of these days. So we called and said, hey, I'm doing the field behind your house. Want to come for a ride? Of course there are no concerns. Roscoe's this really cool guy, but he's one of the first people we met when we got into town and actually just took us for normal human beings, even though we're that weird YouTube couple. Suspiciously smiley, you know? But yeah, he's really cool, and he's been taking care of the field for the last few years. He's been doing the tractor work for a lot more than a few years, so yeah, I know she's totally safe out there. Can't wait till she gets back and I get to hear how her ride was. She's experiencing so many new things out here. When she met her first llama, I think that's probably still one of my favorite firsts for her since we've been out here. Anyway, let us take a look at the plants. As you can see, it is a beautiful day again, and everybody's outside, so yeah, let's take a look at how they're doing. So I guess the question becomes where to start with all of this. Let's start with the mint. Ever unkillable mint. A lot of the old growth did die off, but just as predicted, you can see around the edges, that stuff that was just shooting up, doing just fine. That thing's going to be bushy in no time, I suspect. Moving over here, nothing going on in the cooler at the moment. Everything's been moved to the box. And here we have some survivors, some newbies, and this year's comeback king, that little shard that was in the cooler and literally froze, decided it was going to give life another go. So that is awesome. I brought out the other one from the kitchen window, the kales from the kitchen window, beef up that collection a little bit. Here we've got a couple of the basils that I transplanted yesterday. I figure if they're going to start the struggle, they might as well keep on going with it. And the dark opal basil from the kitchen window, as you can see there, has kind of started to go to flower, so we'll just pinch that off. And it can keep some more of that effort and energy for savory, flavorful leaves. Wonderful. And I brought up the unpronounceable tomato. For those of you who are curious, there's your best shot at pronouncing the name yourselves. I'm not even going to try. And here we've got the one tomato that I'm doing in the hanger. I believe these are Tumbling Tom. Yes, Tumbling Tom Red. There are 4 of them in there. We'll see how it does. It gets light here from, I'm going to say 10:30 till about 6. So, not necessarily a quote-unquote full day, but hopefully enough to produce some cherry tomatoes for me. It seems fairly stable in the wind. It's just spinning right now because I was messing with it, but all in all, it's doing fairly well. Using a lot of water, but it's a tomato, so it'll do that as it transitions. Thinking of day 1 for things, the yellow scorpion has come outside. I've got it in kind of a semi-shady location because those are just itty-bitty tiny leaves on there, and I really don't want to kill it, but I didn't see any point in keeping it downstairs anymore either. I have more seeds for that, so I'll just start more of those when I get started on my seeds. Up over here, I was just rooting around in the strawberry planter, and I'm pretty sure these guys are toast, along with their friend the grape there. That's no big deal though. We were talking to a friend in town. She's got a lot of, well, Manitoba hardy strawberries. Won't cost us a darn thing, and these things only cost 99 cents each anyway, so I got their value in strawberries. I picked off them last year. I'm going to call that a worthwhile expense. You know what goes well with strawberries though, don't you? Rhubarb! I am very glad to say this thing is coming back, already looking much bigger and healthier than it was this time last year. Got to get rid of its little red cups that were marking the names of 4 different pepper plants in there last year. I think from now on it can grow in there all by itself. But rhubarbs are supposed to be pretty good at keeping weeds down, and since this one's not growing in a container, it should be fine for years and years and years. I mean, really, that's just a couple logs on top of the lawn, right? So no big deal there. Over there, however, very big deal. Look at all of this life on the cherry tree. I was so worried I had killed this thing. Dried out so many times. This is the first absolutely for a fact known fruit tree I've ever planted in my life, and I am so excited to watch it grow over the years. Obviously quite excited for when cherry time comes rolling around too. I think that'll be, you know, a couple more years still, but whatever. Cherries are good, they're worth the wait, and they're bloody expensive out here. Still haven't weeded the onion patch, as you can sort of see back there. Still haven't weeded the main patch, as you can see here. But, you know, all things in time. The soil is just starting to so-called warm up. So I've probably got another week or two before I'd be planting the beans and such in here anyway. So I got time. Need to finish mowing the lawn though. You can kind of see a line in it where I ran out of battery the other day. Anywho, back over there, we'll go take a look at some peppers. Actually, first I want to show you the Troll's garden here. As you can see, I left the sage and the rosemary out. They seem to be doing okay there. So I think I'm just going to leave them to grow there this year. And I brought out the Nepalese bell today. It is its very first day as I proceed to cover it in shadow. Hopefully it will come back. They're so funky. Those peppers look really cool. They're not insanely hot or anything, but they are pretty darn cool. And then that brings us to the dog, who is faithfully protecting my tomatoes and all of this stuff here. Mostly tomatoes, but we got some peppers here. I wanted to show you something I found on the coffee can off the Pennock yesterday. Look at this. That monster was hiding underneath there. I didn't even see it. Now that I have seen it, of course, it's the only thing I see on there, but very warm day today, so these are looking a little bit wilty. The Sugar Rush cream's looking just fine though. Very happy little plant. I'm very, very pleased with how well that one's doing. I'd like to see a little more growth off that crimson red, but all things in time. Still, this ahi Pennock. There's a lot of peppers, or I should say there are a lot of peppers already forming on this plant. I'm super excited. I was checking out the super chili yesterday, I think it was as well, pulling off dead flowers. There are lots of little pepper starts in there, just like I was thinking, but they're kind of hard to see, so next few days we'll get a better look at that. The faithful sand dollar. I might be leaving this one out full time now. Haven't fully decided yet. I want to double check the weather app a little bit later, but it kind of says it's going to get down to 6 tonight, and you know, there'll be some 5s in mid-June according to the long-term forecast. So I'm just going to have to see. This El Oro de Ecuador though, look at how well that sucker is adjusting. Well, I can't see it now. Oh, there we go. Come on, little camera, do your job, do your job. Do you see that? There's a little tiny flower start in the middle of this beautiful El Oro de Ecuador. So, Dave, if you're watching this, we do have a hope for fresh seeds. Very exciting, and they're tasty little productive peppers, so you know, I want more seeds for that myself. Definitely got to get to watering those guys though. So we should probably wrap this up for today. And of course, I will see you guys tomorrow for the full-on garden update. I mean, we covered a lot of it today, but there's still a lot of individual stuff that I haven't gone over. And I want to take this opportunity to say a big shout out to my neighbor. I was chatting with him the other day, and he has fixed up his well so that we can use it for watering our garden and don't have to worry about, well, trucking water in and out of the house and taking it off the water bill and stuff. And it was at his own suggestion, so how super cool is that? I think the world needs more neighbors that are just thoughtful, you know? So, yeah, my battery seems to be dying too, so I'm definitely going to wrap it up. I will see you guys tomorrow for the full garden update. We'll look upstairs, we'll look downstairs, we'll check out the kitchen window, and of course, we'll one by one through those peppers. All right, take care, everybody.